Welcome to the Miss Nina B Show. I'm your host, Miss Nina B. Abdul-Wakeel, sharing words of wisdom, insights, and practical life tips. Today, I am happy to have with me Miss Leslie Latimore-Lorfils, affectionately known as Triple L. She is an active duty major in the Army, juggling 11 kids, amazingly, and she's a military spouse. But why are we talking with her? Because she is a member of a very special group of women who were the participants of the 2017 Miss Veteran America. Now, Leslie is going to share with us what the Miss Veteran America program is all about and how she got involved in it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Essentially, the Miss Veteran America competition, its main purpose and mission is to raise funds and awareness for a nonprofit organization called Final Salute Incorporated. And Final Salute Incorporated is the organization that builds safe and suitable homes for our female homeless veterans and their children. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not aware that we have over 55,000 of them walking in our country, which is disheartening to me, because they are part of the only 1% that have served. And no person should be homeless in this country, and let alone our veterans, and then further exacerbated with our female veterans and their children. Although there are many establishments already in place, they cater more to men. Mm-hmm. We have had female veterans to seek shelter in some of those places where they're forced to reside with sex offenders, or they may not have proper locks, proper lighting, needs for women. They may not house children, and there are a lot of restrictions with the number of children that could be in the shelter. So Major Jazz Booth, who is the founder of Founder Salute, herself, she was homeless. She was a victim of Hurricane Katrina. And so her home was completely lost.
Wow. And
she had also served and went from being a lieutenant to homeless. And so she channeled all of that energy, her disappointment, her fear, her frustration, and she founded Founding Salute in 2010. And since its inception, we have housed over 3,600 women, have provided over 12,000 days of housing. So that is something to definitely commend her for, and all of her hard work. And from Final Salute, Miss Veteran America was birthed. And what that does, as I said earlier, it just gives us a tunnel focus, if you will, to focus on just that, raising awareness and raising funds to eventually make the 55,000 become zero.
Well, I know I've watched you as you have raised the awareness. Like, I personally was not aware of this crisis that we have for our female veterans. So tell me a little bit more about how you got involved with Miss Veterans American competition and what people should expect from it.
Okay. Actually, a few years ago, one of my mentees, if you will, she sent it to me via Facebook, and she says, "Hey, I saw this and I thought of you." And at that time, it was a couple of years ago, I think I had 8 kids, I can't remember right now, but a lot of children. And I said, okay, well, it looks interesting and I'll give it some thought. And I just kind of put it on my list, to-do list per se, but it wasn't at the top of my list. And so this year, I said, well, you know what, let me go ahead and enter this, and give it a try, because I thought I was retiring in a year, but the Army decided to select me for Lieutenant Colonel, so I'll be hanging around a little longer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But during that time, I said I was going to go ahead and enter and see what this was all about. And even when I entered the competition, I honestly did not have a clue of the magnitude of what I was walking into. So we had to submit an application, tell some information about ourselves and what we wanted to do. And And from there, I was chosen as a semifinalist. I said, okay, well, that's exciting,
That's exciting.
So we're dwindling down somewhere, but again, I still didn't understand what was happening. And in June, I think it was June 10th, I'm 8 months pregnant, and I drive myself down to the Women's Memorial to compete in the semifinals. And from the semifinals, we will make it to the finals, or be selected for the finals, which were only 25. And over 400 women vied for this. And I was fortunate enough to make the top 25 finalists, which was so amazing.
So let me get this straight. Over 400 women, you were selected as one of the top 25, and you were pregnant.
And I was pregnant. 8 months pregnant.
8 months pregnant. Okay. That says a lot. That says a lot about you, how you show up, how you present yourself, and how you commit to what you're up to. Yeah. And that's exciting to hear.
And honestly, just to share with your listeners, my why goes deeper than that. I was homeless as a kid. And so I remember having that feeling of hopelessness and wondering, when is the situation going to change for myself and my single parent mom? So someone paid it for us. And I felt like, I have an opportunity to really be a strong advocate and a voice for those who can't speak or don't have the avenues to make a change. And so if I could be a catalyst for that, I'm happy to do so.
Wow. What you just said is so much of what I say on the Miss Nina B Show. One is identifying what your why is and using it as a catalyst to spring forward, to pay it forward, to do something phenomenal with your life. Don't use it as an excuse to fall back on, but use it as a springboard to move forward. Yes. So that's awesome to hear.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So 25 women, and what happened?
Well, we were all so excited to learn, oh my gosh, we made the top 25. And so now the work continues, because we had already been advocating and planning events within the community. Like personally, I was able to touch base with some politicians in a local parade and set my table up at various storefronts and captured those that randomly walked by, and the outpouring of support was just amazing. I coordinated a fun run to support Final Salute. I even had a bargain blitz, which is commonly known as a garage sale.
Sounds good.
Where we had a lot of goodies to be able to sell and raise funds for that, and just really getting out there. Was able to sit at my church home, which is one of the largest churches in the area, and raise a few $100s, just that alone. And so Excellent. It's been amazing to get out there in the community and just make it known why we're here and the help that's needed, and continue to keep it at the forefront of people's minds. And one of the challenges that some of my fellow contestants had is that they were affected by the various hurricanes. And so the question becomes, okay, well, we have this going on. How do you continue to make it, make the homeless women veterans relevant still in the midst of everything that's going on? And it's recognized that, we have many soldiers that were affected by the hurricane. And so the VA stepped forward and, kept benefits going even throughout, kept the centers open, things of that nature. So the support was still there. So once we, continued to work and advocate, and we just waited for the big weekend, which just culminated, the competition itself, where we had Time Magazine, CBS, and some other news outlets there, and then of course hundreds of people in the audience, a lot of dignitaries from the military and other places out there cheering for us and rooting for us. And the competition was just on Sunday, and it was absolutely amazing.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely amazing.
So you were selected for a special honor. Can you share that with the
We had some specialty awards. We had a Resilience Award, the Hot Mama of the Year Award, Never Leave a Fallen Conrad Award. We had an award, Donation Whisperer, for someone that raised the most funds. We had a Social Butterfly Award, You Wear It Well, for your gown, a Showstopper for your talent, a Mr. Mom Award. So we did have some specialty awards, and I was selected for the Hot Mama of the Year.
Hot Mama of the Year
Award. So it's so funny because as we're sitting in the gala, and they're starting to announce it. I could feel all the heads and eyes turn my direction. Of course, naturally, one would assume with 11 children, but I said, no. We'll see, just see what they say. We never know, But I was the recipient, so that was an honor. And we also had top 10 talent to be able to perform live in front of the audience out of the 25. So I was able to perform my talent on Sunday.
So wait, you got not only in the top 25, but you were in the top 10?
And I also became a top 10 finalist. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
So just on the hot mama note to my listeners, and I may be a little biased because I know Leslie, but she definitely qualifies as the hot mama, so when you listen to this podcast and you see her picture associated with it, you'll know and you'll be in agreement with me that she qualifies, even though she does have 11 kids, but she definitely qualifies. So she made it to the top 10 finalists, and you were able to perform your talent.
Yes, they only chose 10 out of the 25.
Wow. Yes. That was an honor as well. Yes. So what was your talent?
It was essentially a monologue that I wrote about my life and kind of my journey in the military and having a dual military spouse and juggling 11 children and paying homage to those that have gone before us and have paved the way before us, and just being able to really represent Miss Veteran America.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful. So, and you raised money, and you're still raising money.
I will continue. Of course, you have your your winner and your first and second runner-up. Mm-hmm. But even as a top 10 finalist, we have our official sash and recognition there. And the goal is to continue to push forward and still raise resources and keep the awareness going. So although most of us, of course, didn't place the top 3, it doesn't stop the work that needs to be done. And so I'm just getting started.
Right, because obviously we're doing this podcast. The competition has completed. Mm-hmm. The top 3 has been selected. But the cause is still very current.
Yes.
It's still relevant, and there's still needs out there.
Yes.
So I commend you for not just dropping the ball and moving on to something else, but it clearly shows your commitment to this cause and commitment to helping women, female veterans, mm-hmm. in the plight of homelessness. So what can my listeners do?
I would encourage everyone, if they could just take a few moments and go to the Final Salute Incorporated website. And there they can read in more detail about the organization, about its history, about its purpose, about its mission, and what it's all about. And then also they can also visit www.missveteranamerica.org and learn about that as well and its inception. And there you will see all of the finalists, our pictures and bios, and of course its mission. It talks about the judges and the competition itself, and what anyone that would like to enter and compete down the road, they'll get some expectation management if they go to that site as well.
Okay.
And just continue to spread the word and just let people know that this exists, and we want to change the course for the better. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Leslie.
No, my pleasure.
So we have Final Salute Inc. Is it finalsaluteinc.org? Is that the website?
.com.
.com. Mm-hmm. And then we have Miss Veterans America .org.
Yes.
And listeners, I will put those links in the description for this podcast to make it easy and available to you. Thank you so much, Leslie. Any final words to the listeners?
It's been an amazing journey. I'm very humbled to have been selected to be a voice, and I'll just continue to garner support from our community to help our women out. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, family, Miss Dina B family, thank you for listening. Remember what I always say, be encouraged, be empowered, walk boldly into your dream because you are great. Clearly, Leslie has walked boldly into this dream and she's continuing. So it's a shining example of what we're all about in our greatness quest. Thank you for listening. Be blessed.